I am getting tattoo removal. Late last year, I had this realization. I felt like I had these tattoos on my body that I'd had a long time that maybe weren't accurate representations of me now. So kids, don't rush off and get a tattoo. Like, you can change anything you don't like. Whatever, choose a new story. So my new story, I decided, I was like, I'm just gonna check it out. I'm gonna go, free consultation, I'll go in, end up going to Dr. Tatoff. I literally ended up signing up. They did a whole payment plan, everything, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I have 4 tattoos. I'm gonna give you guys the history behind each one. First, I got the one on my foot. I just wanted something. I was obsessed with Drew Barrymore. I really just wanted a giant flower like she had on her stomach. I was like 15, almost 16, and do not ask me how I talked my mom into letting me do this. My stepsister at the time gave it to me. I was eating spaghetti, watching TV on her kitchen table. That is so punk rock. I feel like, oh my God, like turns out I'm like actually cooler than I thought I was, guys. Slash ghetto. My next tattoo, flash forward to, I live in Sacramento. Everyone I know that's over 18 has a lot of tattoos. I decide that I'm going to get, which I feel like I'm aging myself and humiliating myself, a tattoo on my lower back with my 2 best friends from high school. Now known as a tramp stamp. If that's not enough reason to get rid of it, I don't know what is. When I got it, no one called it a tramp stamp. Anyway, I don't like it. I don't want it there, even though you don't really see it. I just, blah, go, bye. Next tattoo I got, my anchor. My boyfriend at the time, my love, he was apprenticing, which means learning how to be a tattoo artist, not getting paid, at the shop to practice on me. And I was like, yeah, I just think like sailors and cowboys are like really cool. Like I think like an anchor and maybe like a horseshoe, like I'm into it. And he put the stencil on me and I literally was like, that's way too big in my head, but I didn't say that. So on my body at 18 years old, I decided to let my boyfriend at the time give me a giant anchor tattoo to practice his art.
This looks amazing. It's so faded, it's muted. That's what I like to see in the first few treatments. Okay. So we're exactly where we need to be. Most of your tattoos are gonna be so easy. I mean, most of these are black ink only, which is the easiest color to remove. And then you have some spots of blue and green that eventually will go away.
I feel like you've given me the most hope. It turns like white, and obviously it goes back when you're doing it, but why? What is that? Like, yeah. It's kind of cool, because when you're watching it, you're like, I know it's only a little bit left.
So what happens is that the carbon molecule breaks apart, and the bonds between each molecule breaks apart, and it releases carbon dioxide gas. It's a gas that sits on the underneath layer of your epidermis, creates this cloud almost, and then eventually it dissipates.
Right.
So it takes it about 20 minutes to dissipate, and you look at your tattoo again, you're like, well, that didn't really work that well. But the problem is the body hasn't even begun clearing out the debris that we broke away. So that's why we wait 7 to 12 weeks in between our appointments, not because of healing, but because the body has work to do. There's signal to the area that there's debris, okay? Yeah. And then the giant macrophages grab the ink and then take it through your blood system. We were in there for what, 10 minutes? Mm-hmm. And that's 5% of this whole process. 95% is you just going home and waiting.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
Generally, blue and green ink do take longer than 15 treatments to remove. And it's because it's made of this gigantic marble called cobalt. And what happens is that when the laser hits it, it breaks off a little chunk of that marble, and the body goes in and picks up the debris and takes it through your system. Whereas with black ink, carbon-based, it busts up the whole thing, and so there's a ton of debris, and your body just goes in and takes it through. It takes it about 7 to 12 weeks to do all that.
So interesting that the black goes away first, then the color. And the same like that light skin is better than dark skin, because you'd think like, oh, black on black.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit easier because the contrast. So it's the same thing with hair removal. I mean, the more contrast you have between the ink and the skin, the hair and the skin, the more the laser's gonna go after its actual target, where it's chromophore. It's looking for ink, and if your skin is a little darker, maybe it's more tan. That also is a big risk factor. Or maybe you have a lot more melanin just naturally in your skin. If that's the case, there's less contrast. The laser could find the skin pigment and actually pull it out as if it was ink. I think the misconception is that it doesn't work on darker skin types. That's not the case.
It's super painful. It hurts probably worse than getting a tattoo, but it's a lot quicker. And I sort of feel like, you know, beauty is pain. We all know that. So I don't know, just do it.
The great thing about this is that after the treatment, I find that it doesn't hurt at all. Like
No.
it's just during, and then suddenly you're done, and it's like, oh well, we don't break the skin. It goes through the epidermis into the dermal layer and busts up the ink, so it doesn't break the skin in any way.
It's really cool, and you guys are awesome, and
Thank
it's just
you.
like every time I come, it's like so easy. You come in, you do it, you leave.
I feel like too that it's it helps you with your journey of renewal, because obviously you're removing these 3 tattoos. It has a connection to your past. And the time I think that it takes to remove any given tattoo is about the time it takes to sort of get over whatever it was that caused you to get the tattoo in the first place. So psychologically, you're evolving as your tattoo's evolving. And it's a beautiful process if you really think about it.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome, my
God,
pleasure.
I want to give you a hug.
Oh, of course, I'm a hugger.
Me too. The last tattoo I got, which I am not getting removed, I'm gonna let you guys know this, is in a secret place, and I'm gonna show you guys right now for the first time ever. So I'm actually super into that tattoo because I feel like it's like my low profile street cred, and when I pull that out, people are like, what? I went in and got it on my 23rd birthday, and I've been drinking a little bit, not drunk by any means, but just having a great time at the beach all day. And so I walk in this tattoo shop, Venice Beach. I say, I want to get fabulous tattooed inside my lips. Yeah, like even like the chick in there with like the tattoos like down her neck is like, wait, what? Are you sure you don't want to get like fab? And I was like, no, absolutely not. I will not get fab. It has to be fabulous, and I want it in my lips, and we're doing it. Do it. And I did. And they say that it falls out and doesn't stay in, but you know what? It stayed in. I don't know. What can I say? I'm fabulous.